I always thought that this should be on the right side. Okay, it's okay. It's okay. We'll wait for Commissioner Carter. Just give me a minute. We'll wait for Commissioner Carter. Okay. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for being here today. I am joined by Dr. Benjamin Henry. He's superintendent of the Harrisburg School District, and as well as our Commissioner Carter, to address a deeply troubling and tragic incident that has shaken our community. I want to begin by expressing our deepest compassion and support for the victim and her family. This young girl has endured an unimaginable trauma, and we stand united in offering her every resource and measure of support available. I also want to acknowledge the swift actions of our law enforcement officials who have apprehended the suspect and are working tirelessly to ensure justice is served. This prompt response reflects our unwavering commitment to holding perpetrators of such heinous crimes accountable. Let me be clear. The safety and well-being of every child in Harrisburg is our top priority. No child should ever have to experience violence, and we must work together to prevent such tragedies from happening again. The city and the school district are collaborating closely to assess and strengthen safety measures, both in our schools and in our neighborhoods. While we address this specific incident, I also want to call on the entire community to join us in creating a city where every child can grow up free from fear. This will require not only enhanced safety protocols, but also a deeper commitment to supporting families, building trust, and addressing the underlying issues that contribute to violence in our community. Harrisburg City Police are committed to consistent patrolling in school areas during heavily trafficked times, such as on the way to and from school. In the days and weeks ahead, we will continue to provide updates on our efforts and resources available to support the victim and prevent further violence. I urge everyone to remain vigilant, united, and compassionate as we navigate this challenging time together. Harrisburg is a resilient city, and together we will heal and emerge much stronger. At this time, I would like to invite Dr. Superintendent Benjamin Henry to speak about the steps the school district is taking to ensure the safety and well-being of our students and staff. Dr. Henry.
All right, thank you, Mayor William. First and foremost, I want to express our concern and care for this student. Injustice, a crime, truly a terrible incident happened to this student, and no child should have to go through something like this. At the same time, I want to recognize that we're talking about a child, and this child and the family deserve privacy during this time and respect for this time for this child to heal during this situation. The school is in contact with the family, and supported them. And certainly we send our full support as a school community to this family. I want to make it clear that the communication to our broad school community, we work very closely with our city and our police department during this situation because we wanted to make sure while this was an open investigation that we respect the investigation and we move forward in apprehending the suspect. But safety is one of my top priorities. One of the things that often I'm talking about is that safety is one of the things that I want to focus on this year. We are putting protocols in place, and in the coming days, you all will see additional protocols. We are putting in place, we're creating advisory committee to continue to work with our school district as we develop a development of our school police department. But one of the things I want to echo is that this is a community. And one thing about a community, it takes a village to raise a kid. And I'm asking for our village to come together during this time to work together to protect our babies, especially as we enter the winter holidays, that we want to be proactive and work together to protect our babies so incident like this doesn't happen again. But as a community, we will come together and support each other. And again, we want to make sure that our babies are safe every day coming to school and going home from school. And I ask again that this village come together now to support us through this time, but also protect this child and give her a chance to heal. Thank you.
We will not be addressing any questions regarding this situation, but we will move on to address the issue, the shooting incident. Commissioner Carter will now come to the mic, along with Captain Whelan.
Good morning. Welcome to Harrisburg City Atrium. And I'm sure that you have a lot of questions, but before we start into our program, I just want to introduce Hogarth. This is Chief Hogarth. He's with the Pembroke Police Agency. And welcome here, sir. And this is Captain Terry Whelan of CID, of our criminal section. And I just want to start off by saying, you know, that the police, Pembroke, and every police agency in the whole area, we believe in the sanctity of life. We believe in the sanctity of life, you know, not only during the holidays, but 24/7. A tragedy happened the other day where, you know, officers had to use force. But we're going to walk you up to the incident as to why they had to use force. We are praying for the victim's family, as well as the suspect's family who lost his life yesterday. We're also saying a special prayer for the officers who had to go into a situation where that morning when they first woke up, they didn't realize that that was going to happen. But as a police officer, you have to be prepared every second of the day that things change. And they change in the blink of an eye. So with that being said, I wish that my police officers, the Pembroke officer, I wish that they get through this terrible incident, because people don't understand this here, but we are human beings too, and we have feelings. And nobody wants to wake up and getting into a situation as the officers did yesterday. I'm going to let Captain Whelan walk us through what led up to that tragic incident yesterday. Captain.
Thank you, Commissioner Carter, Chief Hogarth, Madam Mayor. Morning, ladies and gentlemen. Like the Commissioner said, my name is Terry Whelan. I'm a captain in our Criminal Investigation Division here at the Harrisburg City Bureau of Police. I'm going to take you back to Sunday, December 8th of this year at about 8:30 in the p.m. Harrisburg Police patrol units were dispatched at 300 block of Nectarine Street in reference to a shooting. Upon arrival, the responding officers observed a male who was later identified as Johnny Torres. I'll spell his first name. It's Johonny, Johnny Torres, Torres. His date of birth is 8/31 of 1999. They observed Mr. Torres in the street. He was unresponsive and determined deceased due to a gunshot wound. Subsequent homicide investigation identified a gentleman named Santiago Gutierrez. His date of birth is 3/22 of 1995 as the perpetrator. A warrant for murder and firearms violations was issued for Mr. Gutierrez on December 9th. His whereabouts were actively being sought. Yesterday, members of the Pembroke Borough Police received information in reference to a tractor trailer Mr. Gutierrez was to be driving. Pembroke officers relayed this information to Harrisburg Bureau of Police as well as members of the United States Marshals Fugitive Task Force. Subject vehicle was observed in the 1600 block of North Cameron Street at about 10:20 hours yesterday morning. An attempt was made by officers to make contact with Mr. Gutierrez and take him into custody safely when he attempted, or rather when he stopped the vehicle in a nearby parking lot. Unfortunately, Mr. Gutierrez chose the route of noncompliance and initiated violent action towards the officers in order to attempt an escape. Several shots were fired by officers on scene during the process of negotiating the threat they were presented with. The vehicle came to rest in the 1600 block of North Cameron Street. The area was shut down. Members of the Dauphin County Crisis Response Team and the Pennsylvania State Police Special Emergency Response Teams were summoned to assist with safely bringing closure to this situation. Gutierrez was ultimately found deceased in the cab of the vehicle. The investigation is now being handled by the Dauphin County District Attorney's Office due to the officer-involved shooting aspect. City of Harrisburg Bureau of Police would like to thank the Borough of Pembroke Police, Pennsylvania Capitol Police, Dauphin County Crisis Response Team, Pennsylvania State Police Special Emergency Response Team, Dauphin County District Attorney's Office, and the U.S. Marshal Fugitive Recovery Team for their assistance with this incident. In furtherance of that, Harrisburg Bureau of Police are still seeking the whereabouts of Mr. Lateef Phoenix. His date of birth is 1/16 of 1986. Mr. Phoenix is wanted on murder and firearms charges due to his involvement, a separate incident that took place on November 2nd at about 2:30 in the morning in the area of Nectarine and Hunter Streets. The best possible scenario would be for Mr. Phoenix to turn himself in peacefully so that no further violence can take place here in our city. Anyone with information about either of these incidents is asked to contact Dauphin County Dispatch at 717-558-6900 and ask to speak to a city police officer. And tips can also be submitted on our Crime Watch portal. These tips could be anonymous. Unfortunately, I can't comment a whole lot about the incident that took place yesterday because, like I referenced earlier, that incident has been handed over to the Dauphin County District Attorney's Office for further investigation due to the officer-involved shooting aspect. Okay. With that being said, Chief Hogarth is going to say a few words.
Good morning, and thank you, Madam Mayor and Commissioner Carter, for inviting me to represent the Borough of Pembroke and its responding officers to the event. As echo Commissioner Carter's comments that this is a very tragic incident for all involved, and certainly nothing here to be celebrated. But having said that, I would like to say that I'm very thankful for and proud of all the officers that responded and stood in harm's way to make the community safe. And I'm just very humbled to count myself among their peers. Thank you.
At this time, if you have questions, there are only certain questions that we can possibly answer because Dauphin County CID is still handling this case, but we will try to answer questions as we can, as you ask them. Any questions? No? I can't answer that question, sir. The investigation is still fresh, as of going on right now. So, but I will listen to your question. So what is your question?
Well, I guess the family was just concerned about the conflict that occurred when the victim was violent and when we saw some protection being provided at the school. We just wanted to let us
As soon as we heard about the incident, sir, the Harrisburg police we were in conversation with the school district. We were investigating the case. A detective was assigned to the case. Correct me if I'm wrong, Captain. A detective was assigned to the case. the young lady, she was given medical treatment, interviewed, and that's what got the ball rolling.
It just appeared as though it was a gap.
I don't know about any gap. I do know that the conversation between the young victim and the victim's mom had been taking place. Okay. And as the mayor stated earlier, you know, that we were up there riding around and patrolling. We're increasing that as much as possible. You know, but the school district has a force, a security force that is also up there. You know, so whenever we hear about something through a phone call, or if the superintendent reaches out to us, you know, we do go up there, or if the principal. But if we don't hear about it, you know, there's nothing that we can possibly do.
Commissioner Carter, in regards to the shooting yesterday, how did police learn that there was the suspect in that?
That came about from information that was received by the Pembroke Borough Police. And again, I'm not really at will to discuss any of that because it is an ongoing investigation on the part of our district attorney's office.
Was it his vehicle?
Again, I can't comment on that. I'm not going to be the guy to have our district attorney coming at me because I'm saying the wrong thing up here. So I'm just gonna let that one go respectfully. Yep.
Commissioner, with regards to the extra details, if you will, trying to keep kids safe while they're in school, what is that gonna look like? I mean, is that gonna be something where you shift manpower from somewhere else, or you're gonna tell them, hey, you know, extra people here? What's that gonna look like as far as time?
Right now, I can't answer that to your question because there's a conversation that the school district and the city we're currently having right now. They have resources that they're going to put into place, and so we're going to team up with the resources that they have.
Is that, are those resources the officers they're bringing in, or is it somebody else? They have security, or bringing somebody?
It's not going to be the officers right now because they're not trained and they're not even hired right now. They didn't even start the process.
Have you heard of anything like that happening? I mean, if 12-year-old kidnapped.
The investigation is still going on, so I can't answer that question, sir.
But I mean, as far as this, this is a terrible act. It's something that, what's your message to parents as far as just saying, hey, we're doing everything we can to keep kids safe?
I'm going to echo the same message that the superintendent and the mayor just gave you, sir. Anything else? I thank you for your time.